Before I begin, I just want to say a huge shout out to Henry Hamilton for being the very first member to join on my channel. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate it. Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here, and today we are going to be looking at something a little bit different in the Forza Horizon series. Now, this video I made here, it seems as though that we as a community that play Forza Horizon 4 love driving everyday vehicles, and hopefully in the future, Playground Games will show more love for them in their upcoming titles. Now, during the beginning life of Horizon 4's launch, there were ways to get your hands on the traffic cars to drive them online, but recently Playground Games have done nearly everything they could to wipe them all out, so you actually can't drive them anymore. Thankfully, the very first Forza Horizon was a lot easier to obtain the traffic vehicles, and many of them that appeared on the original Horizon were exclusive to that game only, which means these traffic cars weren't drivable nor made an appearance in any other Forza titles, which makes these cars extremely rare. So in this very special video, let's take a look at 11 exclusive drivable traffic cars we loved from Forza Horizon. Also for this video, I'll be specifically focusing on cars and not special vehicles like you see right now. Starting off with number 1, the Toyota RAV4. Alright, I'm going to go through all of the Toyotas first simply because we missed them, and there were 3 very exclusive Toyotas that were in the Forza franchise, but we weren't allowed to drive them officially in the original Horizon. And the first is this. Seriously, how cool is this little cute 4-wheel driver? Essentially your everyday vehicle for a small family to do your groceries, but also enough to go off-road when everybody is feeling a little adventurous. With a modest 160 brake horsepower, yeah, it's not exactly your most powerful 4-wheel drive, but it's certainly one of the coolest in Forza. Number 2, the Toyota Corolla DX. Another awesome traffic vehicle that really is a true everyday car. We love it because it is extremely reliable for the owner, it's very popular, and even in Australia today, there are still many on the road, which is quite surprising given that the car is over 20 years old, but it remains as one of the most used from that time today. In a video game where hypercars are the norm, it's almost the opposite virtually, where a Corolla like this is most likely cooler than a Bugatti Chiron. Number 3, the Toyota Camry. I can't believe this. I would have loved for this Toyota Camry or any other Camry to be drivable in the Forza Horizon series, as it's such a popular name worldwide, much like the Corolla. Most players can easily resonate with the Camry, as we most likely have either been in one, know someone that owns one, or probably seen at least a dozen of them on the road in one day. Apart from it being a traffic car in Forza Horizon and only appearing in that specific game, it sure was a missed opportunity for it to become a drivable vehicle, because I'm sure we would have loved to put a 2JZ swap inside to see how fast a family Camry could be. Number 4, the Audi A4 Avant. Here is another exclusive traffic car that can't be driven in any Forza game, and that is the Audi Estate Wagon. Now, of course, in many Forza titles, we've got the RS4 Avants, which essentially is the top of the range sports model that if you were to see one in reality, you know that they are a bit of a special car. But with this A4 Avant, nothing about it stands out, which is what I love. So undesirable in-game that it almost looks out of place. And of course, I don't mean any of that in a bad way for anyone that owns one, because in my opinion, if you have a car that's actually in a Forza game, that's something to be proud of. And if yours have only been an exclusive traffic vehicle, you essentially own one of the rarest cars in Forza in real life. Number 5, the Chevrolet Express cargo van. The Ford Transit in Horizon 4 has nothing compared to this V8 powered van. I mean, look, even for a traffic vehicle, it still backfires. That's when you know this should have been a proper drivable vehicle. Unfortunately, like all cars on this list, it only appeared in the original Horizon, Never did we see it in an older motorsport title on the Xbox 360, but that just makes this Chevrolet van that much more special. Would you like to see this car back in a future game or even in Horizon 4? Just a quick side note before I continue, did you know all of these traffic cars take damage just like the actual cars in the game? Number 6, the Dodge Durango SLT. Here's an SUV that a lot of Americans watching will probably know a lot about. This is certainly a car I don't think I have ever seen in Australia, so if you know anything about these, write them down in the comment section below. How popular were these vehicles, and do you still see them on the road today? I would love to know, but given that the original Horizon was set in Colorado, it would be fitting to have such SUVs like this Durango to be part of the background vehicles. Honestly, the more I look at this, the more I like it. Very unique from a down under's perspective, but like any American cars back in the day, it's a big engine but can't extract many horsepowers from them. Number 7, the Ford F350 Super Duty. If you were to ask me what a stereotypical American pickup truck would look like, I would have chosen this. It just doesn't get any more American than this. It's such a huge car or truck, whatever you want to call it, and I love it. It's so unfortunate that the one place I could possibly experience what it's like to drive an American pickup truck, which is in a Forza game, and it only gave us as a traffic vehicle. Thankfully, with a bit of trickery in-game, I'm able to see what the fuss is all about, and I must say I do feel like I own the road while I'm driving one of these. Number 8, the Ford Focus ZX4. Are you sick of all the mainstream Ford Focuses in the Forza franchise, particularly the RS, which is so oversaturated now? Well, what about this front-wheel drive sedan option with no power at all? Just like the Toyota Corolla, this is a true everyday car in every sense of the word. But I just seriously can't help loving these unassuming sedans in the game. Cars like this would make perfect sleepers in an online lobby, which is something I think Forza lacks just a little bit. But there's hope. We've seen Playground Games do it before, especially right here in the original Forza Horizon. But will they bring many of these unassuming vehicles back in a future Horizon title? Number 9, the Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer Edition. Now, I actually cannot believe this. I know Playground Games has a bad habit of giving us the best trim of a specific model, but I can't believe that even back in the original Horizon, they gave us an upper trim of a Ford Explorer in a form of a traffic vehicle that we initially can't even drive. That's right, it's not even the base Explorer, which means that many optional extras have been added already. Honestly, I'm not really complaining. It's just funny that they will put in extra effort for the traffic vehicles with the optional extras where they just could have had a base Ford Explorer. Maybe this is the more popular version over in Colorado, and like many American cars, this is once again a V8 and has the capacity to hold 7 people. Will you want this back? Now, before I present to you the final last 2 exclusive traffic vehicles, you might be asking why I have not shown the interiors of any of these cars. Well, if I do this, all you can see is, yep, some triangles, hand movement, and some unrealistic animation, which doesn't really look that pretty at all in a video. Number 10, the GMC Yukon XL Denali. I might have butchered that name, but please help me guys over from America. I have never heard of this car in my life before researching about this vehicle. To me, this looks like a car you would use as a decoy or to escort the president. Not the actual car that the president will sit in, but a traffic mover. Again, with the game being set in America, it's understandable to have American cars as traffic cars on the road, which is something that feels to be lacking in the recent Horizon titles, if I'm honest. And lastly, number 11, the Volvo XC70. Certainly a very popular estate across Europe. This is almost an all-terrain car. Not only can you take this car on a family trip, but you can actually bring it to the camping destination you want. With the car being all-wheel drive, the engine is pretty powerful as well. Now, understandably, there were two models available to choose from. The one that we can drive in this original Horizon game is the higher end model, which is a huge surprise for a traffic car once again. But with a turbocharged inline 6 pumping around 300 brake horsepower, I'm shocked that this was a traffic car only for one game in the entire Forza franchise. So there we have it, guys, 11 exclusive drivable traffic cars that we all miss from the original Forza Horizon. Now, I know that I've excluded some vehicles like the Nissan Leaf and the Toyota Prius simply because those cars were actually available in other Forza titles to drive. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button. That would really help me out. Which cars are your favorites and which other cars would you like to see back in a future Horizon title? Write them down in the comment section below. I do read them. And lastly, if you guys would like to see more Forza Horizon content right here on this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button with notifications turned on. That way you won't ever miss out on another video that goes live. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.